Thomas Jefferson. Patriot, author, innovator.
Thomas Jefferson was born April 13, 1743 in Virginia, the third of 10 children, to Peter and Jane Jefferson. His mother was a member of a family claiming descent from English and Scottish royalty. His father was a farmer, surveyor, and cartographer. Thomas Jefferson's favorite pastimes as a child were reading, practicing the violin, and playing in the woods.
Thomas Jefferson began his formal education at the age of 9. He studied Greek and Latin at a local private school until age 14. Then he dived further into his study of the languages, including other subjects, with Reverend James Maury. 3 years later, Jefferson left home to attend William and Mary College. While there, Jefferson was disappointed by the focus of his classmates. He fell in with a group of older scholars that included George Wythe, a lawyer. After 3 years, Thomas decided to read law under Wythe. After 5 years of rigorous study, he won admission to the Virginia bar.
Thomas Jefferson was one of the most passionate supporters of independence from Britain. In 1776, Thomas Jefferson drafted the Declaration of Independence. 3 years later, he was elected as Virginia's state governor, definitely the lowest point in his career. After serving only 2 terms, he retired to Monticello in 1781, intending to stay out of politics. However, after the death of his wife in 1782, Jefferson returned and replaced Benjamin Franklin as minister to France. After 5 years in France, Thomas Jefferson returned to become Washington's Secretary of State.
Jefferson immediately clashed with Alexander Hamilton, Washington's Secretary of Treasury. They had conflicting viewpoints on nearly everything, such as interpretation of the Constitution, creation of a national bank, appointment of federal judges, and many more. Annoyed by Washington's favoritism toward Hamilton, Jefferson resigned. However, he was pulled back in when he was selected as the Republican candidate for president. He lost to Adams, making Jefferson the vice president. In 1800, Jefferson ran against Aaron Burr. It ended in a tie, so the House of Representatives picked Jefferson. After his presidency, Jefferson returned to Monticello and refurnished it before his death on July 4, 1826.
Jefferson's most obvious accomplishment is drafting the Declaration of Independence. However, he also had several smaller accomplishments. He is a father of the separation of church and state, which is outlined in the Virginia Statute for Religious Freedom. He wrote one full book, Notes on the State of Virginia, which outlined the history, culture, and geography of Virginia. Jefferson also founded the Democratic-Republican Party. As vice president, Thomas authored a Manual of Parliamentary Practice, which is one of the most useful guides to legislative proceedings.
And during his time as vice president, Thomas Jefferson wrote the Kentucky and Virginia resolutions in response to the Alien Sedition Acts. As president, Jefferson stripped the position of all European royalty and lowered the national debt by almost $38 million. He orchestrated the Louisiana Purchase and the Lewis and Clark Expedition.
Jefferson provided America with a great deal of land thanks to the Louisiana Purchase. We now have a better understanding of how legislative proceedings should unfold from a Manual of Parliamentary Practice.